This is, I guess, tips for presidents, part 3. Leaders have to hire themselves, have to follow, I think, the rules a little bit more than other people, because everybody's watching them, and so therefore sometimes, that pressure could be too much, or the responsibility of it all. But what we've got to remember is that we have been called to do a job. La palabra de Dios tells us que muchos son llamados, but a few are chosen, and even fewer people accept the calling. Y cuando nosotros aceptamos ser líderes de jóvenes or whatever it is, estamos aceptando that reto, we're accepting that challenge and saying, yes, I am willing to work here with this youth, veo que hay una necesidad en la juventud and I'm willing to do this. El propósito de nosotros trabajar como líderes con la juventud específicamente, no solamente somos presidentes ni consejeros de la juventud o cualquier otra posición, sino somos ministros a la juventud. We have been called to minister to the youth, not just to lead them, but to minister, not just to make programs for Friday service or whatever day youth service if you have. We're called to take the time y ver más allá de lo que la superficie que todo el mundo ve siempre. Y we're leaders, tenemos la responsabilidad to maintain our spiritual life, maintain a healthy relationship with God, en oración, en lectura de la palabra, and seeking His presence and seeking His guidance in everything we do. Y muchas veces unfortunately, we don't do that enough, or sometimes we allow other things to distract us, and slowly we stop making it such a priority to look for God. And when we stop making it a priority to look for God, which that should be our priority above any ministry and above any leadership, entonces we're setting ourselves up for failure. It's like in a job, you're working there, and you have to stay in constant communication with the person who hired you. If your boss, he was the one to hire you, you have to stay in communication with him and let him know how's your assignments going and everything. And if you don't stay in communication with your boss, at some point things are gonna break down. And it's the same way in this walk, and this what we do. We have to stay in constant communication with God, the one who has called us, que nos llamó. And not only did He call us, nos llamó, and He told us He will back us up. Dios nos llama, and when He calls you, He doesn't just throw you into something. If you allow Him, He will walk you through it. Y si nosotros dejamos que esa comunicación con nosotros y Dios breaks down, then that means you're working on your own. And the moment you start working on your own, under your own strengths and under your own ideas, things are going to start going downhill. Why? Because vas a perder la unción, vas a físicamente, mentalmente, espiritualmente nos cansamos, because we have no energy left. Y tenemos que recordar que esto no es con nuestra fuerza. It's not with our own strength, because if it was with our own strength, I don't know, yo creo que no hubiese líderes, or they'll only last a very short period of time. So I believe that above all, if you're a leader que está desanimado, first thing I would ask you to do is do a spiritual check and see, how is your spiritual life right now? How are things between you and God? Y muchas veces something you could observe es que la condición de la juventud, normalmente del grupo que uno está leading, refleja la vida espiritual del líder. También something that could bring upon el desánimo, tal vez las situaciones que pasan, a veces no tenemos el apoyo from everybody that we would want to have, el apoyo. And something I found que muchas veces we don't even think about is the fact that prayer works. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, when you take time to pray, God takes time to listen. Y cuando a veces pasan las situaciones, we just get sad and we want to solve things ourselves. But if we would only dare to doblar rodillas or to take time to talk with God about it, I assure you that somewhere along the line, God is gonna listen, and somewhere along the line, God's gonna make things right. We did not accept the position just to make everybody happy. Or at least it should have not been that way. If you did that, ladies and gentlemen, well, I encourage you to try to make the best of it and give it all you got. But I believe that since we're not here to please other people, we're here to please God. At this moment, if you feel, or whenever you feel desanimado and like you don't have strength to keep on going as a leader, I encourage you to pray. I encourage you to talk to God about it. Seek His guidance. Also, if you have a chance, seek the guidance of another leader whom you trust, maybe your pastor or somebody else, because not everybody could give good advice. You shouldn't go to consejo to anybody. Just seek the counsel of somebody que, you know who I'm talking about. You know, that really spiritual person, that really good leader that sometimes we look up to. Seek somebody's guidance, and above all, talk to God. And maybe sometimes just what we need is just a refresh. We need un refrigerio espiritual, just to recobrar our fuerzas and our ánimo. You know, and I encourage you to seek that refrigerio. You know, it's just when you run a race or you've been outside playing for like hours, basketball, football, whatever. You know, after you've been playing for so long, you just need water, you know. And if it's a hot day, you want water, and you want to throw the water on top of you and everything, you know. And that's how it is spiritually también, or en el liderazgo, when you're working hard in the church. Muchas veces we're so involved, doing so much here and there, aquí, allá, you know, viendo problemas, situaciones, and then all of a sudden you're exhausted and you're drained. Y lo que uno necesita es ese refrigerio espiritual. So remember to seek that. And también don't overwhelm yourself too much. Don't overwhelm yourself too much. Don't plan too many things. Y recuerda, it is okay to take some time off for yourself. It is okay to spend time with your family. Espero que none of us are descuidando nuestra familia to work en la iglesia, because God is first above all, and then it's your family, and then it's the church. You know, and we got to remember that, que no podemos descuidar nuestros familiares, sea nuestro esposo, esposa, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, whatever it is. No podemos descuidar nuestra familia. And sometimes it's good just to take a day for yourself and relax. Or, you know, a day, a weekend, whatever it is. You know, turn off the cell phone or whatever the case may be, and just be alone with God or be alone with yourself, relax. And that's okay to do, you know. But just don't disappear. You know, sometimes people have a tendency of saying, I'm exhausted, and they disappear and don't tell anybody. Don't do that, okay? Just let everybody know, or whatever the case may be. Look, I'm taking a day off tomorrow. And do it properly and enjoy your day or weekend, and come back refreshed, ready to work for God and do what you have to do. So I hope these words have served as encouragement, and until next time, for tips for presidents and youth leaders. Okay, so I'm gonna start like an email thingy, you know, like if you want to email me for whatever questions or whatever it is, you know. So I'll make my email there. It'll probably be like, well, it'll show up in the bottom in a little bit. I just want you guys to know that these videos are to help and encourage the youth and youth leaders. And why do I do them? Because maybe at some point I've been through this, and sometimes I think what doesn't happen enough, nobody takes the time enough to train other leaders. And even though I may not know it all, and I may not be like the perfect leader out there, I do think it's important to probably share what you've learned with other people, so it could be a blessing to other people's lives, you know. So let me know if you guys have any specific topics you would like for me to address or whatnot. Okay, so God